Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in this video, we're talking about some of the most popular interior design styles of 2023 and whether they're worth it or not. Now, the first style we absolutely have to talk about is modern colonial. This is a great style, and I do think it looks really good. I think it is timeless, but it's probably the new modern farmhouse, so be careful if you're interested in it. This style takes classic elements of colonial or more traditional design styles and incorporates them into a modern aesthetic. I think it's great that we're referencing something classic and traditional. I think that always adds a sense of timelessness to something, which leads me to believe this style will be around for a very long time. Also, what's great about this is that you can take inspiration from the newer builds of this style and incorporate them into older homes in the same style, and you can modernize an older colonial. I think that's really fantastic as well, that you can really easily reference the two together and update something in a really simple way. A lot of these modern colonial homes have color schemes that we're very used to. A lot of white and black and a lot of moodier spaces and accent rooms, if you will. I think that's also really cool because we like something with character, with interest. I like an unexpected pop of color, even if it's a more muted and moody tone. I think that's really great. Modern colonial is definitely something you have seen if you've been on social media. It is kind of all over the place and one of the biggest up and coming styles, but it is currently very popular. I think this is really great. Like I said, it adapts beautifully to new homes or old homes, and it's definitely something worth looking out for. Would I personally build a modern colonial style home? No, but that's because I would build a classic Georgian and use modern furnishings. So definitely consider what your personal style is and what will work best for you. But I think we can all appreciate the photos we're seeing online of this style because they look absolutely spectacular. The next style that is sweeping social media by storm, definitely hugely popular in 2023 that we have to talk about, is Barbie Core. You all know what I'm talking about. You've seen the spaces. As soon as you hear the name, you know exactly what it is. These are super hyper feminized pink spaces, not even necessarily all pink, just really focusing in on a color and a mix and a clash of different elements and styles thrown in there together. It definitely has a feeling of being eclectic, but it has a hyper feminized feeling to it that I do think is very fun. Will this be a timeless style forever? For some people, yes, it will be. We all know that person that they love one color and they wear that all the time and their car is that color. For those people, it will definitely be very timeless, but for the general public and most people, we'll get over it pretty quickly and it will become a little bit tired pretty quickly. So definitely give some consideration as to whether or not that's a style that works for you in the long term. I think it's great. Like, you know, I always say I love different styles. I love personality and individuality. So I think do what you love in your home. If you like this Barbie Core style, definitely go for it. I think it's really fun. And you can also just bring this into your home with some paint colors. You all know in my home, I love blue. I would have every single thing in this house be blue, every surface, every wall, every piece of furniture, because I just love that color. It really speaks to me. So I have a blue dining room, and my living room I have a blue sofa and blue accent pillows. So if I painted this room blue, it would have that same kind of vibe to it where everything is an overwhelming color. The key to this style, however, is to mix different shades of the same color. You want some variance on that tone of pink or whatever color it is. Some dark pink, some hot pink, some magenta, some fuchsia, some light pink, some millennial pink, some ballerina pink. All of those tones mixed together will create a lot of depth, dimension, and character in these spaces. I think it's a really fun style. I think a lot of these spaces are very bold, very graphic. They look fun on social media. Not everybody can live in them in the long term though, so definitely give the style consideration and whether or not you'll be able to handle it long term if you're thinking of doing this in your home. Now, we love modern colonial, we love Barbie Core, but what is so popular in 2023 that I see all of the time and personally I love is retro design. Now, it's not something I would probably do because I like things to have a mix of classical elements and modern elements together, so retro is not necessarily for me. These spaces are original spaces from the 60s and 70s that people are like, no, we're not updating, we're not doing anything to, we're gonna just repair anything that needs it and keep it original, you know, down to the green shag carpet. I think it's fun. I definitely think it's quirky, it's interesting, and we love a throwback. You know, I love a reference to anything classic, anything with some history to it, I think is so much fun, and this is definitely one of those things. Retro design is so popular right now. A lot of the reason for that is people are buying homes that they maybe can't afford to just gut renovate and fix, and so they're appreciating the things that are there already, and I love that. I also think a lot of this has to do with thrifting and vintage, because we love it. I mean, who doesn't love a little vintage? We like the environmentalism that comes from that, but also, you know, you get the thrill of the hunt of finding a really cool vintage piece. So this retro style is definitely something I appreciate. I love to see. Like I said, would I live in a house like that? Not necessarily, because some of the finishes or materials just wouldn't work for me in my life. I'm not gonna have like a vinyl tile floor, and I'm not gonna have shag carpet. I'm not gonna have, you know, like fuzzy wallpaper or whatever. So these spaces are really cool, but they're not for everyone. And if you find a space that's really original like this, it's actually very rare, because so many people buy up these vintage homes and then like paint everything gray and gut them. And you all know what happens with these flipped houses. I don't need to go into that, but it's really rare to find homes like this. So I think it's great that people are keeping them original and actually really valuing and appreciating what was originally there, because it's always great to have that historic reference to a style, even if it's from the 70s, which I know not everybody loved, even if it's from the 60s, which not everybody loved, but that's okay. These styles are really cool. I love seeing retro design. I think it's so interesting, and I love a throwback, and I think that is so fantastic. I'm happy to see it online. Be sure to let me know what you think of retro design in the comment section down below. And while you're leaving that comment, let's think about who doesn't care what anyone thinks, and that person would be Linus. Linus, come here, come on the sofa, right here. Oh, you wanted to stop by and say hello? Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, 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 yes. No, come back here. Today was not the day for me to wear a brown sweater, was it? Was it? Oh yes, oh, okay. What, you want to go explore? You want to go sniff around? Okay, we got to get back to filming. Boop. Whew. Okay, everyone, let's talk about the next interior design style that is incredibly popular in 2023 that we're all kind of loving. It's been popular for a little while, but I'm seeing more of it now than ever. That's the Paris apartment. Paris has some of the most beautiful architecture in the world. So apartments in Paris, of course, are gorgeous. And we love to see this style. And it's a range of styles. There's not one specific thing. You have a lot of classical elements, applied moldings on walls, beautiful herringbone floors, oak details, gorgeous carved marble mantles, all of it mixed with modern furniture and contemporary features and artwork. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I love these styles. You definitely see a lot of very high-end, very expensive collectible furniture in these spaces, and that's absolutely fine. We love to see the best design has to offer, but don't be afraid to look at these and say, like, what can I interpret from this for my home? Because we don't all live in massive Parisian apartments with 14-foot ceilings and carved marble fireplaces, even though we wish we did. That's okay. But I think this is beautiful, and I love the inspiration you get from this. I love to see, like I said, those classic historic details and features modernized to the current day. I think that's really beautiful. There's so much culture in France and in Paris, and one of the big things is a lifestyle. And so people don't just live in houses and decorate them to furnish them. You know, it's all about cultivating artwork and living beautifully. And I think that's something we should all take from this style and incorporate into our lives. Not only do we need to have functionality in our homes, but we want to have something beautiful and something that's interesting and unique that really inspires us. And I try to do that in my home all of the time, whether that's through layering interesting pieces of artwork or getting a one-off piece that looks really cool, or throwing in some really classic traditional elements that I love into the space. That's what the Parisian apartment is all about, and I think you absolutely should be on the lookout for incorporating that into your home. If you're like me and you love art, there's something I really want to mention just quickly, and that is someone incredible that recently passed away. Tony Bennett was an amazing singer and performer, but also was an incredibly talented artist who painted beautiful, beautiful pieces. And unfortunately, he just passed away recently. This is someone my husband actually knew and really admired, so definitely take the time today to look up some of the artwork he created, some of those beautiful pieces, because they're beautiful. They're absolutely incredible, and it really inspires you to go and look at art and discover new artists out there, even if it's not someone new, like Tony Bennett's not new, but he was an incredibly well-known artist. So definitely take a little bit of time today to look up some of his pieces online. I know my husband and I are now in the market for one of these because we would absolutely love to have one in our home. But that Parisian style really inspires you to look at art and to bring some beautiful, wonderful creations into your home. And I think that's the real takeaway from the Parisian apartment style. It's art, it's living beautifully, it's surrounding yourself by beautifully and thoughtfully designed pieces. The single most popular interior design style that you all have seen in 2023 definitely is what I would just lump all together and call the moderns. Mid-century modern, postmodern, organic modern, Danish modern, all of them, you name them, these are the most popular styles right now, today, in 2023. I think they're great. I think the problem with a lot of these modern styles, though, is that when you look for inspiration, you see things that are very similar. And so you're kind of pushed in the direction of, this is what that style is, this is what it has to be. So a lot of them look really similar to each other. And some of the things like Danish modern, a lot of those pieces were created during the mid-century era. So a lot of people look at them as mid-century, even though they're not. You also have modernism lumped into there. So there are all of these niche kind of branches of modern design that you should definitely look into, because there's a lot to learn there and a lot of interesting details and features that these pieces have that make them different from one another. And I think that's really fun and really cool about modern design. I also really love whenever we start to see anything new or something come back that we used to love and really appreciate. Danish modern is one of those things. It's gaining in popularity right now. So if you see those pieces out there on those resale and marketplace websites, snatch them up now while you still can. These also, you can find them on, resale websites that are a little bit more high end for thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. So be on the lookout for some similar pieces, get inspired by them, do some research and some homework on them. The lighting from this period of design is so incredible, and you find modern light fixtures all of the time that are so beautifully designed, but also can be quite expensive. So be on the lookout for some of these at more affordable price points if possible. I think modern design is great. I'm all about it, but I love to mix different elements together. I think that really is what creates timeless design, because ultimately the things we're talking about are trends, and trends can be good, trends can be bad. It just depends on what your personal style is, so you want to be careful with them. Modern design is one of those things. Now that we've talked about the biggest and most popular interior design styles of 2023, let's talk about 7 dated pieces of furniture that I personally would not get rid of. Check out this video right over here, and I will see you over there.